All right.
I think from where I'm sitting as a parent who I graduated from a PWI. That's number one.
Yeah. Which one did you go to?
UW Milwaukee.
Oh, UWM. Okay.
hmm I went to UW Milwaukee and got my undergrad there, but I went on to to other colleges here in the state of Georgia to finish my graduate degrees. Well, anyway, where I am concerned is I am a parent that had a student at FAMU.
Oh.
And she just graduated. And when I tell you these students are fighting like hell for the money that is available to them,
yeah,
to just stay on campus, there's not enough housing, there's not enough money. When you become a sophomore or junior, and she was a quote unquote athlete, she was a part of the March of 100.
Mm-hmm.
The funding was so low that her scholarship that she was promised was literally cut, and so many other students. And so they were marching basically for nothing.
Is that a result of the Trump administration cutting grants and funding?
This was, the funding had started to dry up actually before.
Okay.
And she was like, Mother, I'm so ready to graduate. I just want to get this over with because it's getting harder and harder. And it was me just watching so many of her classmates literally lose all of their funding, and having to lean on family and each other and DoorDash and do all this other stuff because the funding was gone.
Yeah.
Knowing that the majority of students that I knew that went to HBCUs, all of them talked about the same thing. So there was never enough funding to begin with, unless of course your family came in the door that way and could provide or support whatever, financial aid or grants or loans or work study that you had. Now, she did have a job on campus, but Heather, it was so bad. She was getting like 5 hours a week, and you have an apartment.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it. So, she was constantly calling home for help, and we did all that we could, between all of us to kind of help. And it was just, when I tell you, I was so glad when she graduated. And I'm grateful that she did, but and she was like, and I remember one thing that she said to me about her brother. She said, Mother, whatever you do, don't send him to an HBCU.
Really?
Because of how difficult it was for the financial support, the funding that she needed, that just I felt like we were sold a bill of goods that they didn't deliver on. That was number one.
Is it their fault though?
No,
because I feel like, obviously HBCUs have been critically underfunded since they were founded, because they were founded because Black students couldn't go to PW, couldn't go to students, right? Yeah. So funding was already going to be an issue. And then you have the whole American systemic way of underfunding anything that has to do with Black and brown people.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
So that sucks.
It was so frustrating. And so here's the thing. We know that the Department of Education literally just cut $350 million. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. $350 million for HBCUs and any college dealing with people of color.
Yeah. Yeah, I think though, I'm just waiting for the lawsuit, right? The lawsuit that's going to happen, because they're going to probably be able to, I don't know if you can do class action against the government. I don't know about that, but there's going to be some institution that sues the government for cutting off their funding, right?
Absolutely.
It'll go through the lower courts. It'll probably be restored. It'll go to the appellate court. It'll probably be restored. But then it gets to the Supreme Court, and we know that they have been siding with the Trump administration 70% of the time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times not even with like full-blown arguments, right? It's part of like a shadow docket or whatever. Like we don't even get to hear the full breadth and scope of an argument, and then a robust response from the Supreme Court, whether it's in support or not, right? We haven't been getting that in a lot of cases. Wow. Okay.
So Yeah. So when I'm looking at what just happened, and they were very clear, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing this.
Okay. So we started recording after we had this little bit of a discussion. So just to clue everybody in, what Paulette is talking about is there are two white male students, maybe more, but the picture I saw had two, and they are on the campus of FAMU, and they have a table, basically like debate me. So they're following in the footsteps, really, of Charlie Kirk, right?
Right.
Wearing their MAGA hats, and basically challenging any student of that institution to come and debate them. They are traveling with security. Paulette said she just found out that they're not going to stop. They're going to get more traveling security, and this is like a group. It's not just these two dudes.
No.
Right? No. Well, we all know where this has the potential to lead.
Yes.
And that is, as you get greater security, they'll be armed. And of course, this is to incite an armed conflict.
Correct.
College campus.
Yes.
And it is, let's just call it what it is. It is an effort.
Yes.
For Black students to live down to the trope of the angry Black man or the angry Black woman.
Correct. Which brings me to something that they actually said, and I have to read this part. And I know this was not, but I'm so
go for it.
Ticked off about it. They actually said, to your point, what you said, the angry Black, whatever. Yeah. I saw the videos that the students posted, and they were basically yelling for them to leave. Black Lives Matter, you get out of here, XYZ. So I'm not going to read the name of the organization because I don't think that I should.
Let's not publicize it. They don't get that.
Right. So it's they were at Tennessee State University, and after 10 minutes, a literal riot erupted. That is not what happened. That is not what happened.
Who's reporting that? Who's reporting that as a riot?
This is directly from one of the young men that were there.
Oh, so not hardly a biased, objective observer. Okay.
Correct. Absolutely. Then he goes on to say, they stole our stuff. They did not, or else you would not have been able to record anything. Followed us to our car, attacked the car, shouted Black Power. No, they had BLM signs, Black Lives Matter, and they were shouting Black Lives Matter. All of these kids had phones. They were recording. A couple of them actually went live. You could see this. And their topic was DEI. Well, that wasn't the entire topic. So number one, you were not authorized to be on that campus. That's first.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was you came with your security, and in your own words on your own social media for this particular quote unquote tour that you're on, you said in all caps, we're not stopping. I don't think I need to be talked off the ledge on this one.
You're on the ledge, friend. Move over. I need some space.
Yeah. So it's kind of you're working.
You're deliberately
yes,
inciting verbal and physical violence against you so that then you can play the victim, which is correct. Exactly what white Christian nationalists, white male supremacists do, to be like, boo-hoo, people are against us, even yes. though you have everything in the country. You control the Oval, the Congress, the Supreme Court. Yep. You control all of it.
Everything.
Everything you wanted. But you're mad. And I'm going to quote Joey Reid. It's not going to be exact. But this is what she said. You're mad. And the reason why you're mad is because you have everything, but we don't love you for it. We have no respect. We don't love you for it. And we think you're full of shit.
That's it.
And that's why you're still mad. That's why you feel the need to take your inadequate, mediocre white man audacity
to
an HBCU and to do this tour of crap so that you can make yourself feel better about your own shortcomings. Go the fuck home.
And they're not. And here's the thing. Breathe, dear.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I felt like it was necessary to talk about this because with everything that is going on in this country and around the world, because girl, we could go down the rabbit hole. We not, because a lot of people don't even know that Israel just gave $45 million earlier this month to YouTube to pay for propaganda. Yeah. So there's that. And it's, yeah. So
I'm sorry. It's not funny, but I mean, sometimes like when I read Heather Cox Richardson every morning and then I share her post and I always have some like smart ass comments or something to put on the top of
yes,
it.
You do.
But sometimes like what the events that she's recording are so outrageous that I can't help but laugh because I'm like, what the hell? It's like, what the hell? What fresh hell is today?
What fresh hell? Like it.
What? Okay. Anyway, all right. We're gonna start our actual discussion.
Yes,
and it actually flows rather nicely with the topic that Paulette has raised with these young men being, going to these HBCU campuses to start shit. It really brings to mind, like, don't start none, won't bring none, right?
What? Right. This
don't
is the
none,
big WTF.
like, come on. Anyway, anywho, the moves that they're making are actually right out of like an authoritarian, totalitarian playbook, right? Like, and even though they're not the ones who are at the top, oh, look, I have my little fidget things in my hand. Sorry. Okay. They're not at the top of that particular pyramid. They are taking the tenets of those things and spreading them in a way that they know is, number one, going to get them a lot of attention because that's audacious to go to the HBCU. And then when they are run off campus, then they can cry, I'm the victim. No, sorry, sir. That's not going to work for those of us who have critical thinking skills.
Correct.
Anyway, okay. So today, the topic of today is,
I didn't mean to do it. I'm so sorry.
It really plays in just the authoritarian creep, media, power, and the end game of white supremacy.
That's it.
Because I think those dudes going to the HBCU campuses and trying to start shit actually fits in rather well. But right now we are living in the big what the fuck moment.
Correct.
For real.
Yes, we are.
And you can really see what's happening when and this isn't even like what's going on at the UN, which is a whole different level of banana pants.
Like
it really, I mean, good God. But what's been happening in like more of a pop culture kind of thing is that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended because of not what he said about Charlie Kirk, but because he made fun of Trump's reaction to Charlie Kirk's murder.
Yes.
Stephen Colbert was taken off the air or he will be taken off the air at the end of this season. And the Tonight Show, is he the Tonight Show? No, he's late night. Jimmy Fallon has the Tonight Show. It's really different. I don't watch these, so it's hard for me to.
I don't either.
They're on way past my bedtime.
Right.
But Stephen Colbert's show is being canceled and taken off the air because he criticized Paramount Plus, which is the parent company of CBS, for basically paying to play to get their like consolidation deal approved by the FCC. And he was like calling out their bullshit. Right. And now Jimmy Kimmel has been reinstated to a certain degree. His show went back on last night. I have not had a moment today to even look up if it actually happened. I'm sure it did, but
it did.
In markets where Sinclair Media or Nexstar are like the parent company of that ABC affiliate, they chose not to air.
They chose not to. Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel's show.
Right.
And now other late night hosts like Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, they are, I mean, Jimmy Fallon's political like commentary and stuff is not super sharp, right? Because he's like the affable, likable dude. But the other three have some pretty sharp commentary. Well, Jimmy Kimmel, I wouldn't have said that about. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But where this is going and why this is a big WTF moment is also because the president is claiming that it is illegal for the media to criticize him.
Yeah.
Which is like dictator light, you know?
Right.
But the point is that these are not isolated incidents. They, in an aggregate, they are the signs of not just creeping authoritarianism, but that it is actually kind of here.
Yes.
Right. And so I'm going to just run through these quick definitions and then let Paulette take it. Yep. So what are the definitions that we are discussing? Authoritarianism is a system of government characterized by a strong central power and limited political freedoms. Okay. It is the suppression of dissent, restricted civil liberties, and the erosion of checks and balances, which, if you refer back to our first episode, we discussed the three-legged stool that is American government.
Yes.
Executive, legislative, and judicial, right? So when you, and those are the checks and balances. But as you've seen, the Supreme Court has been siding with Trump 70% of the time. So,
correct.
So that checks and balances is kind of going. Now, I cannot take credit for this idea. I saw this idea through two different creators on TikTok. I do not remember their names. I'm trying to find them. If I can find them, I'll put them in the show notes. There was a young woman who wanted to definitely make a difference, a definitive line between authoritarianism and inverted totalitarianism, which is really where we're at right now.
Correct.
Which is that power flows from unelected corporate and bureaucratic entities. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Trump loyalists being appointed to roles and responsibilities that they are not qualified for.
Horrifying.
And the shit that follows. This is where citizens still vote, right? Like we fully expect to have a 2026 election. We fully expect it. But the amount of propaganda and consumerism and disengagement is just going to keep growing because of and that we talked about that in, I think that was last week. PACs, super PACs, things like that. We talked about that.
Right, we did.
Right. So there is an illusion of democracy. Authoritarian control ends up growing. And then this idea that I'm about to tell you about was actually from another. So this is the second creator on TikTok. And what he said is that what we're seeing is actually called an extinction blast.
My God.
And that is a psychological term that is used to describe a last ditch and super intensification of behavior when previously rewarded behavior no longer gets results, right? So white men at the top of the pyramid are as women have gotten more educated and gained more rights, as Black and brown people have gotten more equity and equality through various laws and acts and guidelines and stipulations, all these things. White men are no longer held to the pedestal on which they put themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's happening is there's a desperate, violent, and that can be verbal or physical, attempt to cling to the racial, patriarchal, and economic dominance that white people and white men in particular are accustomed to having in this country.
Yep. So
Paulette's going to talk about 12 steps to authoritarianism and how it's actually happening.
It is absolutely happening.
Absolutely.
This, first of all, welcome to the Rivalry Report with Heather Asinyambi and myself, Paulette. And we are here to talk about all of the things so that you remain informed, even in the middle of all of what we think is chaos. When in reality, I like to see it as a reorganization of sorts. That's if we maintain our heads about us.
Yes.
So there's that. Now let's talk about the 12 steps to authoritarianism. Okay. Yes. So first things first, and I'm going to give examples, but I probably don't have to because you've probably seen them already. So the first one is invoke a threat. Okay. That's the first one. Frame vulnerable groups. We've seen it. Immigrants.
Trans people, which make up all of 1% of the population.
All of 1%. So we're talking trans, we're talking protesters, we're talking immigrants, both legal and illegal, and people of color around the country, always talking about things like, we don't want no woke over here. Y'all folks need to understand woke doesn't even mean what you think it does. But whenever I hear that word, I know you're talking about Black folks. Okay.
Right, because people use woke instead of Black, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're saying, so much, I'm tired of this woke, whatever. I don't like woke people. Really, you're just a racist.
You're just a racist, and you just don't want to say it out loud. I'm so tired of the wokeness. Okay. All right.
Okay, this is me.
Which part? You? What? Where?
Look.
Yeah.
You know, you have.
So you want to do this? Yeah. So I'm just gonna do it. How about that? Sit and stand on this. No. So it's such a pain in the. It's something else I want to say, but that's the first thing. Invasion at the border. We've heard about that. Oh my God, it's the criminals, and they're here, and they're rapists and they're murderers, and they've taken all of our jobs and so forth. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Or claims that Black Lives Matter actually means lawlessness. That's another one that drives me insane. Number two.
Not to mention, like, can we just talk too about the twisting of Antifa? Antifa is an abbreviated, like, slang term for anti-fascist. So if you think it's a bad group, then all the allies who invaded Europe to get rid of Hitler are not, they, like, that whole greatest generation, not good people.
Not good people.
That doesn't even make fucking sense.
It doesn't make sense, but he's just declared about a week or so ago that Antifa is officially a terrorist group.
Except there is no Antifa terrorist group, people. It's an ideology. It's a thought process.
Oh,
like you can't. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, this coming from the person that cannot say acetaminophen on national television. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. All right.
Number two, discredit the media. Label dissenting press as fake news. Okay. Use lawsuits. He just announced today that he's going to be suing, I think, ABC for like $9 million or some crap.
Well, it worked. He had a post yesterday where he was like, I just got $15 million from Paramount. Hey, it worked once. Let me do it again.
Let me do it again. And he's also gotten $15 million from the New York Times, folks. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's
let's see what else he's done. Threatened licensing. But here's the thing that you need to know about FCC licensing. FCC licensing doesn't work the way that he thinks it does, or even Brendan Carr, who has been with the FCC for years. Let's talk about that. And is JD. He's got his JD, so he should know better. FCC, or threatening licensing, you literally can't do that, number one, because when you get your FCC license, it's eligible for years. Years. Okay, so there's that. And you don't just strip that away from people. Unless, of course, it's like some certain things that you shouldn't say on air and stuff like that. Then you're fined, and the fine can be ridiculous. But that's another.
They don't really give a shit about the way things are done, or the rules or the laws that govern these things.
No,
right?
No, not at all.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Control the judiciary. That's number three. Appointing his loyalists. He's proven that he can do that because 70% of SCOTUS is his. Undermining judicial independence. We've seen him do that. Delegitimizing unfavorable rulings. Let me give you an example. The stacking of courts with judges aligned with MAGA ideology. We've seen him do it. It's happening right now. The majority of SCOTUS is what?
Yeah.
Conservative. Okay.
Yep.
Suppress dissent. Ban or regulate protests. Surveil activists. Designate dissenters as threats, such as crackdowns on protests. We've seen this even in social media where people are using code words like picnic or carnival in order to say, hey, this is what's going on. The actual idea that social media, which is not controlled by the FCC at all, literally is blocking us being able to see the protests that are happening around the country is mind-boggling to me. All right. Now, the other thing that he's done, and we just talked about this, was divide the population. We're officially on number 5. use race, religion, gender, or region as ways to keep us apart. And he's been doing that since his very first run, when he first campaigned. So anti-trans laws, bans on teaching critical race theory. We've seen it, selective appeals to traditional values.
Having that critical race theory, CRT, has never been taught in elementary or high schools. It is even college. It is a law school course. You are enrolled in law school for that particular course. But like woke, tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist.
Telling me you're racist, because it's really not about anything else except Black folks. Yeah. People of color, you don't want us around. Yep. Right? Undermine elections. We've seen that. Assert election fraud. Enact voter suppression. We're seeing that happening right now with the gerrymandering that are going on with districts. All he's doing is picking up the daggone phone and he's making calls to his buddies and saying, this is what I want to have done.
Yeah. Yep.
Empower paramilitary and extra institutional forces, encourage militias, lax oversight of armed groups, or tacitly support insurrections. The January 6th insurrection. What'd you say? January 6th
anyone?
Right. Yeah. The rise and public presence of groups like the Proud Boys, and even what we're seeing with what just happened at TSU.
Yep.
Control communications channels. That's what he's trying to do right now. And in some instances, it's actually worked in his favor, because people are bowing at the knee and they're kissing the ring, which is what I like to call it. So basically using state media, pressure, private media, regulate platforms. Heather, have you seen the new Department of Education video?
You know what? Okay, so now we're on yet another level of fresh hell. What is this?
So this is the kind of communication, it's Control Communications channel. So you're on YouTube and you have created an entire video erasing every bit of the history that should be taught in schools. You got to see it. And I'll have to share it once we're done here.
We'll make sure it's in the show notes for sure.
Yeah. Threats via FCC over content, sharing how you want to educate your kids, those kinds of things. Criminalize the opposition, which is what he's doing well. And not only him, but others that are a part of Turning Point and others who are saying we should criminalize everybody. Everybody should be in jail that doesn't agree with us. Number 10, elevate the leader as the only solution. We're witnessing that in real time. And they have literally created a personality cult by doing so. So we're witnessing that as he is the only person. He even said it in a meeting yesterday during his speech with at the UN. He's so damn delusional. I can't even say the shit without cussing, because I cannot. Heather, what?
Ma'am, don't look at me for answers. I voted the right way in November. Hello.
What in the hell? He said he is the only one that has stopped. I forgot how many wars he said.
Seven,
right? I thought you.
And this is the greatest American economy that's ever been.
Child,
and then a foreign correspondent, and I don't know for what publication this person is from, who said he spoke with like a UN insider, was like, does America not see that he is stark raving mad?
No, he is.
Yes, we do. But those of us, again, who have sense and critical thinking skills. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
It's okay. Yeah. Here's the other one. Here's the other one. And baby, we could go down the rabbit hole on this. Normalize corruption.
Oh, I have a jet to sell you. I would like to give you a jet.
My sons are going to go overseas and make this $1 billion deal for us. Oh, by the way, let's go ahead and sell you some cryptocurrency and make an extra $5 billion in one day. Let's go ahead and do that. And you're not even supposed to do shit like that when you are currently sitting in the president's seat. So,
well, I would just like to say that, okay, so I think we really need to point out that the reason he goes to the UN and says this outrageous nonsense, the reason why he keeps bombing boats in the Caribbean Sea The reason why he is, first of all, there's two reasons. Number one is it's like the great American grift, right? His presidency, both of them, will go down in history as the most corrupt presidencies in American history.
My God.
I am willing to put good money I don't have on that bet, right?
Yep.
They're going to go down as the worst, the most corrupt presidencies in U.S. history.
Yeah.
But also, number two, release the Epstein files.
That's it. Release them.
Release them. You keep doing all these things. You're creating circuses, 3-ring circuses here and there and everywhere because your ass is in those files, and you know you are guilty. You know you are guilty of molesting and sexually abusing children.
That's it. End of story.
And also, for the record, I don't care who else's names are in there. I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, leaders of religious organizations, churches, people we would normally hold up as like a shining example to follow. Release the files. Get those names public.
Correct. I agree.
Go ahead.
100%. 100%. Doesn't matter who's in there. They're saying that Bill Clinton is in there. Baby, listen. At this point, I'm with you. It doesn't matter who's in there. If you did it and your name is in there, let's rock with it. Let's go on ahead, because that's what you want to do with everybody else.
Yep.
All right. So we're talking about normalizing corruption. That is one of them right there. And you keep making phone calls to the GOP on the other side, and you're saying, don't release the Epstein files. Da 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 da. Yeah. And the last one, this is the big one.
Yep.
That the Rivalry Report actually started with: suppress literacy and civic knowledge. And that's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
So they want to undermine public education. And not only that, they want to censor history and create civil discourse along the way. Yep. So right now we're witnessing school book bans. The Department of Education is run by a billionaire bestie, and they are making decisions along with the Turning Point on what's going to go. I almost feel as if I am living in a time as a little girl when I got the C. Jane books and I read the stories in their history books. And I had no idea as a child that those were written and authored in part by the Daughters of the American Confederacy. Mm-hmm. So in those books, they said that the darkies, my ancestors, were excited to get their flour sack clothes and get their annual bag of sugar and flour and 1 pound to 2 pounds of salt pork, and all of the children ate outside, and they made it seem as if everyone was excited to be on there just living their genteel lives while everybody else picked their little cotton and they sipped mint julep tea while somebody fanned them with a large fan made out of tree leaves. Like, what the fuck? And here we are getting ready to go through the exact same thing while they are removing historic images of slavery in public parks and removing historic images of what happened to other people in this country, including women and including other people of color, through our museums and our libraries.
If a white man didn't do it, it doesn't count.
It does not
count.
Basically
what they're saying. And I honestly think, so defunding public schools is another big one that they're doing. But my honest to goodness, this is what I think is happening. They want to turn us back to a time. Well, I mean, let's okay, so we just need to be clear. First of all, America has always been an oligarchy.
Correct. Yes.
And it was because it was, and I'm using in quotations, founded by wealthy white men of means, right?
Yeah.
They were the ones in charge. They were the ones who made the laws. They're the ones who, did all the things to, create the fabric and the framework around which this country could grow into, could grow. But additionally, those are the only families who could afford to send their sons to school. Women weren't educated back then.
Right.
We would learn to read, but we were not allowed to go go to like college. We might have been able to go to like maybe some like elementary type school stuff, but everything was private. Everything was private. So you had to pay education. It's kind of like when you look at some countries in Africa or in India or whatever, those families pay fees for their kids to go to school.
Yes, they do.
It's not public.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep,
and
true.
So they want to turn us back to a time when only wealthy landed families could afford to have educated offspring. Because deep down inside, what they want is they want us desperate, sick, and dumb. So that when they start returning back to us the things that they've taken away, we're grateful.
We're grateful. It's disgusting.
It is. It is.
I have no words. Like,
so I think we really need to talk. Sorry, my cat is right here. Go, dude, get. It's only 3:00, but he thinks it's like dinner time. Anyway, but I think it's really important to note that corporate media, like you can turn into MSNBC and CNN and whomever else the big networks are that you want to look at. But I really think that you need to remember that Sinclair Media in particular, I'm going to use them as an example. They are a huge media conglomerate that really supports MAGA. They own 35 ABC affiliates. They also own NBC, CBS, Disney, and Hulu. So when Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air and suspended indefinitely, and all these people started canceling their Disney Plus memberships, I was one of them. I canceled Hulu. I'm never going to pay for them again. I'll figure something else out. I don't care. They lost billions of dollars like overnight.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration. So, the power of the purse the power that we have over their purse truly cannot be understated. But the reason why people like us, people who are bringing you independent reports that we're talking about these topics that are super important to our daily life, even though they feel maybe a little bit more high level, they really are not. We're the future of your news delivery.
I wish I had a fan for you when you said that. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
You're so silly.
No, like I'm really looking for.
Okay, we got Paulette's good.
Where's my props? Yes. Which one would you like? Would you please say that again?
I said the rivalry people, us, Paulette and I, the Rivalry Report, and others like us. We are going to be your only source of factual, timely, accurate news that you can use. Like we are the ones you're going to be able to trust. Period.
That
you can't. And I'm not saying that Anderson Cooper doesn't believe in what he's doing. He does. But the thing is that he has media overlords who will decide whether or not he can say certain things. Correct. That's just the way it goes. Right.
Absolutely.
And we don't have that oversight. It's just Paulette's at her house. I'm at my house.
Correct.
We're recording this and we're going to put it up on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to put it on Substack.
And we're going to put it on social media.
Share it on our social media channels. And that's what we're going to do. And then, and you have people like Don Lemon and Joy Reid and the Aaron Parnas and the Midas Touch and Under the Desk News. We are all creating independent news reports at various levels, obviously. Correct.
Absolutely, yes.
Would I like to aspire to the level of Joy Reid? Yes.
Girl, we already there. I don't know what you're talking about. Listen. Yes. So I have to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about in terms of Sinclair because, girl, I had to go down the rabbit hole.
I know you did, friend.
So let's talk about the fact that Sinclair Media is 60% owned by the Smith family. The Smith family collectively controls more than 60% of the company's voting rights. Okay. The executive chairman is one of the four Smith brothers, David J. Duncan, Frederick, and Robert, sons of company founder Julian Sinclair Smith. The family controls Sinclair through Class B super voting shares, and that actually allows them to make the decisions. How's that? Wait, there's more.
What's shocking to me, though, and this just comes from like doing my own business during the day, or maybe you might you'll understand where I'm coming from. I would think that y'all are too busy to be micromanaging like that.
But not when it comes to decision making, and especially since they're already conservative, right?
Oh, and Trump called them too.
Yeah, all you gotta do is make a phone call to your buddies. You all are all hanging out, like you know what I mean?
They're close buds.
Guess who else is a part of Sinclair? Major institutional investors, Vanguard Group, BlackRock.
Oh, Christ.
Dimensional fund advisors also hold meaningful stakes, but they don't have the controlling power due to the family's super voting structure.
BlackRock and Vanguard are the scourge of American society.
I love the word you use.
Okay, I have no words. Anyway, all right. So that's who's pulling the strings, everyone. Is that, do we still have a free press in this country? Theoretically, yeah, we do. Yeah. And the reason why we can have that is because, and I'm fully going to plug this. So Racine County Eye is the outlet that I helped found 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to think, like, what year is it? 12 years ago, we cover Racine County, hyper-local news. Lion is an association for local independent online news organizations like Racine County Eye. Mm-hmm. It is going to be your independent, non-corporate owned media that's going to get you the news that you need. Because we're the ones going to your local board meetings. We're the ones going to your school board meetings and your common council meetings and all of that. And we're not, Paulette and I, we're talking more high level stuff because we're not going to do super local things. I'm in Wisconsin, she's in Georgia.
No.
But we're going to talk about these things and bring you this information. And we're going to give you a list of sources in every show note so you can go check that yourself.
You can go check yourself. Because that's important.
We're not making this stuff up. We've done research. We've looked at sources. Like, are we like experts on any of this? No, we're not trying to claim that we are. But what we're trying to tell you is that by taking a little bit of effort, you too can educate yourself about these things. And we are happy to provide that list to you.
Yes, we are.
But we want you to take that initiative to go look the stuff up for yourself. Absolutely. And the reason why is because literacy is resistance.
It is.
As civic literacy declines, and we've covered this in the last 3 episodes, only 66% of Americans cannot tell you how a bill gets passed through Congress.
My God.
They cannot tell you, number one, how many Supreme Court justices there are, much less name them, right? And a full quarter of American adults are considered illiterate, meaning they can't read. So increasing the literacy just in general, as well as our civic literacy is the resistance to what is happening here. Also, media literacy is absolutely abysmal. Disinformation spreads so much faster than facts.
It really does.
I'm going to bring it up again. I've talked about it the last 3 episodes, and I'm never going to stop repeating this. Misinformation and disinformation sites outnumber legitimate news sites. I believe the last figure I saw was by 5 to 1.
That's
and the reason why is because it costs nothing to put up a dis or misinformation site. And it's all bullshit. Nothing's being vetted. Nothing's being tracked. No questions are being asked. No facts are being checked. None of that. But for a legitimate news site where there are journalists who are making phone calls, going to meetings, fact checking through verifiable sources, not Wikipedia.
Yep.
Those people cost money.
Yep. And
so in order to continue to have a free press, you absolutely have to invest in Paulette's Substack, my Substack, Under the Desk News.
Yes, you do.
Harness, your local newspaper, your local news website. You have to invest in them. $10 a month goes so far.
And it does. And let's talk about that. Let's go here because it's necessary. Yep. What I want people to understand from our perspective throughout the day, when you're going out, you physically have called me while you were headed to report on news. So you're always on the go, tracking news and finding out what's going on locally. And me, on the other hand, I'm over here. Not only am I running Brownstone Worldwide, which is a news platform, but whenever there is something that comes up that I believe deserves your attention, I stop everything. And I say, hey, Sheena, can you handle that? Hey, Kevon, can you handle that? I need to focus right here for just a hot second so I can do this think piece. And I dig and I research right where I am. Why am I bringing this up? Because that is time that we spend out throughout our day to provide you with the information that you're not getting otherwise, because we're getting a lot of fluff right now, right? And not only are we not getting a lot of fluff, let's keep it 100. You're not watching television. You're not watching network television like that any longer. So you're missing those pertinent pieces, and they're hoping that you miss those pertinent pieces. And it's vital for someone like myself to keep a TV that faces her, that's constantly on, so I can see what's going on, or that I can get alerts that sent to me every hour on the hour. So when something that is deep and heavy and serious, if I can catch it, I will. Like, why am I bringing this up? And Heather, I'm sorry, I got to go here. Because not only is that time is money.
Say that. And that
again. Yeah. So do we make money doing this? Yeah, we do. We make money, but it's, for me, I'm full time in it. Right. So this takes a lot. And so when we say that we want to provide more of this to you, please know that, we're going to start sending y'all some little links. I just had to say it, Heather, I'm sorry. We're going to, but
listen, we're going to start asking you for money.
Period. Because this is work. It takes a lot for us to do this, to do the research, and then to do this throughout the day, and then to come back with those edits for you so you can kind of review, and the loading. It takes hours. And before you know it, the day is gone and you're like, holy shit, what else did I do today? But I'm saying that to say,
I attended. So here in Wisconsin, we're going to have a governor's race next year, and candidates. There's like five Democrats running.
That's crazy.
And 3 Republicans now. But Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez came to Racine last night. I attended. She did a little spiel at the beginning, and then she answered questions. I transcribed her in all the questions, all her answers. I fact checked them all. It took me 4 hours to do that.
Yeah.
And I do it for every politician who has a telephone town hall, an in-person town hall, comes to talk to us about, like whatever. But I do that because it increases the trust that our audience has in us, that we are taking the time to do it, that they know they can trust the facts that we're providing. It gives them a source list on where we got the information so they can go check it out themselves, which is what we're doing here.
Absolutely. And here's something else too. I'm going to say this, and I hated to bring it up, but I didn't. We're going to continue to keep doing it. It's important. Brownstone Worldwide has officially been around for 11 years.
And congratulations.
More so now, thank you so much. I can't believe it's been that long. But here recently, it has gotten more traffic than I've ever seen, and I'm happy with that. And I want to continue to provide you all with those think pieces that are necessary. I know, Heather, you want to do the same with your platform or what you're doing, but it's important. Here's the biggest reason why: because when you have people who help you to think, it helps you to learn how to think, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So that you can start doing that deductive reasoning that is necessary. So wait a minute. So now that lines up with this, then hold up. What exactly does that mean? Let me go and do some more digging. And it opens up an eye in you that maybe you didn't know was there, rather than working off of just what they told you, which is what they're hoping that you do.
Well, they're counting on you to be kind of lazy, right? And you have to remember that authoritarian regimes thrive on confusion and apathy.
Yep.
So if you're apathetic, which means you're kind of like, whatever happens, happens, and you don't demand answers, even when it sounds a little hinky to you or it feels a little off, if you're not willing to be like, hold up.
Yep.
You know, and that's why reading, writing, and informed citizenship, these are acts of resistance.
They are.
And we have to get louder about it, which is why we started this show. This is why we started it, right? Because we are going to be loud. I already I told my family, I'm like, listen, every chance I could go to jail, I'm just letting you know. And they were like, for what? I was like, just for telling the truth. Like,
telling the truth.
I could go to jail. Like, that's just probably, and my mom was like, are you telling me this so I can bail you out? I was like, no, I'm good. Like, that's kind of the point, right? Like, it's all right. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Just need to have legal resources on speed dial, because
exactly.
We're going to continue to tell the truth.
And the reason why we're also talking about this is I think we really need to be really careful with our definition that Trump is the symptom, but he's not the disease.
He's not.
You know, the U.S., again, has always been an oligarchy, right? Which power has been central to, with wealthy white men. And can we just talk for about 4 seconds about the population of the United States?
Please, let's.
White men are not even the majority here.
Nope.
Women make up, full women, non-white women, all women, we make up 50% of the population. White men don't even make up a majority of the population.
No.
White people around the world are the global minority.
Oh, yes.
Come on now. So what is new is, maybe not new. Maybe, anyway, it's kind of what former Vice President Kamala Harris said on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, I don't remember. But she said, they said, whoever's interviewing, he's like, well, you warned us about this. And she's like, yeah, but I could not have foreseen the capitulation, like the embrace of fascism by so many on the right. Like people who she would have sworn were really going to uphold the Constitution are like folding like the proverbial house of cards.
But you know what, Heather, I want to ask, why? They see what's going on. Does this go back to what you just said? So see, this is that critical thinking that we were just talking about. When you have these conversations and you're reading, you have to ask these questions. Why? Like I
firmly believe, I don't have any empirical data to back this up, but my feeling is that they are, again, extinction blast. They are so desperate to hold on to an America that accepts almost without question that whiteness is the pinnacle of existence. And the challenges to that belief especially over the last, like, let's say 60 years. I'm just putting a round number on it. But since, Brown versus education, right? In the 50s, so 70 years ago. I think that those incremental, although they were monumental, I'm not trying to diminish how big these things were, but they were incrementally chipping away at that pedestal. Yeah. That white people pedestal, right?
Yeah.
And so I think this truly is a sad and desperate attempt to hold on to the position that they built for themselves. Nobody put them there. They built it for themselves convinced themselves and everybody else that it was right.
Right.
And then when people started questioning, like, well, wait a minute, what if I wanted to be on a pedestal? What if I want a pedestal next to your pedestal? Like, can I be on it? I mean, right? Then they were like, no. Right. And so I think that, I think that this open embrace of fascism and turning us into an inverted totalitarian state, and it goes back to what, again, Vice President Harris said. She had an interview with Rachel Maddow the other night on MSNBC.
Saw that.
And she said, what we're experiencing right now is the rapid deployment of a plan that has been in the works for decades. And so while we all have whiplash, people in that white Christian nationalist movement who chose Trump as their figurehead, although I do not know why. Anyway, they've been planning for this for years.
Yes. And they've just been waiting.
Yeah. They've really been waiting. And so I really want to, again, I have already stressed the importance of supporting independent journalism and cultural creators also. Yeah. But if you have ever thought, oh, I couldn't run for office, that's not something I could do it.
Yes.
Run for your local school board, run for your local village board, common council, whatever it is.
It all matters.
Doesn't matter. If you are in if you work in a place where you are not unionized, start that.
Start it. Yep.
And then we need to call a lie. We need to call bullshit when bullshit needs to be called, and stop dancing around extremism. We got to call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
Right?
I agree.
So, so as we wrap up, as we've gone off several rails.
That's okay. Because we've stayed with the main topic, which is
not mad at us.
This was necessary.
It really was. So, okay. I think what we need to remember, this is something that, so Denise Lockwood is my co-founder with Racine County Eye, and she is now its CEO because I gave her the business a few years ago, and now I'm her managing editor. Anywho, one of the things that she always says is that democracy is not a spectator sport.
No, it's not.
And it is, it's an ongoing project, right? The reason why it's called the American experiment is because despite the fact that, yes, it was founded by wealthy white men and all of that sort of thing, the American government as it was designed had never been seen on Earth before, right? Like it just hadn't been. And so, we can still choose differently. Like we still have the power. If anything has taught you, if you needed proof of it, look at what the Target boycott has done. Target has lost billions of dollars. And then look at what just happened with Jimmy Kimmel.
4.3 billion, as a matter of fact. 4.3 billion.
Oh, all right then. Look at us.
Yep.
See? See? So, but we have to think clearly and we have to act collectively.
Right.
And by collectively, I don't mean like I need 4,000 people or 40,000, right? It's just about coming together in your community, really, is what it is. Because small groups of people who start small, but then they start gaining steam and momentum. They make a difference. And I think that, so Sinclair Lewis, who was an author in the early part of the 20th century, last century, has a quote, and I think it's very timely. When fascism comes to America, it will be wrapped in the flag and carrying a cross.
My God.
And I think that's what we're seeing now.
That is what we're living in. We're walking in it right now. And whenever I try my best not to use the phrase, but there's no better phrase than what it is.
Yeah. And I think too that, I think we need to avoid hyperbole whenever we can. But I also think that this administration kind of forces us to use it because they are off the chain banana pants.
They are. And we are watching it in real time. And it's almost as if somebody just took me by my feet and is swinging me around. You know what I mean? Like, and not in a good way. Just it's like, damn, can I just breathe just for a few minutes? Because if it's not one thing, it's another. you know, and we're seeing they're trying their best to help. And I don't want to say specific things because I don't want to even put the idea or the thought out there, but we're watching it with what's happening with these folks that want to come on, you know, Black colleges and universities, historic Black colleges and universities, unauthorized, number one. Let's talk about that. It would be one thing if you were invited or if you had the administration's approval, you did not. That's an issue. Now you're talking about we're not going to stop and you're going to come back with more security. So that tells me everything that I need to know to be prepared. We're watching in real time ICE detaining a 5-year-old autistic child to force her dad out of the house.
Are you kidding? When did that happen?
Yesterday, ma'am.
This is why I don't watch the news. Because I'm already overloaded with the amount of bullshit that we're dealing with on the hyper local level.
Yeah. They literally had the baby sitting and they're in the house saying, "Give me my daughter." And they're like, "No, come outside. Come outside."
What were the neighbors doing? Were the neighbors aware?
Yeah, they were saying, "Let her go, let her go." But no one would make a move because they were fully armed.
And you know, it makes me wonder. It actually doesn't make me wonder. I already know the answer to this question. How do you live with yourself as an ICE agent?
There's no way. While we have Kristi Noem, who is saying now she's afraid. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, what are you afraid of? You created this monster, remember? She said that she and her family are afraid. And this is what I have to say to that.
Here, I'll play it too.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay, and on that note, thank you for joining us for this episode of the Rivalry Report, because that was like the perfect end. It really was. So thank you for joining Paulette and I. We are so happy that you took the time to listen. Please engage with us. I work with words every day.
Oh my God. Woo.
Please like, comment, and share.
Yes.
Please subscribe to our separate Substack channels. Paulette is Brownstone Worldwide.
Brownstone Brief.
Oh, the Brownstone Brief. Sorry.
Yep.
Girl, you have a lot of Brownstone things. I get them confused.
Just look up Brownstone.
Yeah. So look up Brownstone on Substack. I'm just Heather Asiandi on Substack. That's it. It's not even very clever. I tried to do something clever, like between the lines or something like that, but I don't know how to change it now. So it is what it is. But please do like, comment, and share. Engage with us. See,
that's okay.
Just comment so that we can then talk with you through the comments.
Absolutely. And not only that,
anything you want us to talk about, we will.
Yes.
We will definitely. We're taking requests here at the Rivalry.
We're going to take requests because I thought Heather knew about that last one I just talked about.
I sure the hell did not.
I'm gonna have to share that video with you. So I want to definitely end with this. We are officially beginning next week. We will be on Spotify as the Rivalry Report, and so I'm super excited about that. And you'll be able to listen to all of the episodes just back to back to back.
There. You'll get to hear the dulcet tones of our voices.
Oh yes.
I mean, that's Paulette. I don't have that kind of voice, but it's cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. We're so happy that you were here, and we will see you next week when we talk about some other crap that's going on in this country.
So just bring your cocktails.
I mean, I have my big jug of water because hydration is important, people, during these times.
Oh, yes.
All right, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.